It's Wednesday, and you know what that means. It's the news. I'm your host Andrew, and we implore you to pay close attention to today's 5 news stories. There will be a pop quiz at the end. Today, we explore a poll that shows a huge increase in crypto investors. Facebook lays down its thoughts on the digital metaverse and NFTs. The WNBA is hopping on the NFT bandwagon. We look at the truth about Launchpads. And finally, put on your swimsuits as we deep dive into the world of Yield Guild games. So first, let's explore a poll by CNBC and Momentive showing that crypto investors have doubled in the past 12 months. In fact, the poll found that 11% of Americans currently invest in cryptocurrencies, adding that exactly half of cryptocurrency investors started investing within the last year. There are many more interesting stats in the report showing a demographic breakdown of investors. For example, 16% of men were more likely to be cryptocurrency investors compared to 7% of women. Young investors were also more likely to buy cryptocurrency, with 15% of those 18 to 24 invested compared to 4% of those 65 and older. And finally, newer crypto investors, those who entered the market since the beginning of 2019, outnumber older ones by more than 2 to 1. The newer group is 50% more likely to predict that Bitcoin's price will continue to rise. There are many more interesting numbers in our article on Alexandria, and since I don't want to sound like a statistics teacher for much longer, be sure to check it out if you're curious. Next, let's take a look at Facebook's Novi, formerly Libra, and what its wallets will support. Speaking to Bloomberg on August 24th, David Marcus, the point person on the Novi project, highlighted some very interesting key strategies and what they mean for the digital metaverse. You'll want to have multiple wallets able to participate in the metaverse, and sending value from one wallet to another can't be impossible, which is a limitation of the current payment rails, Marcus said. Having that underlying infrastructure in place before metaverses go mainstream is vital, he said, adding that it is much more important than figuring out which stablecoin or stablecoins can be used in them. While Marcus said there are, quote, no immediate plans for Novi to support non-fungible tokens, NFTs, it is something the project is, quote, definitely looking into. When you have a good crypto wallet like Novi, you also have to think about how to help consumers support NFTs. NFT support will also be key to a wallet's success in the metaverse, Marcus said. Next, to sports, where the Women's National Basketball Association has announced it has teamed up with NFT maker Dapper Labs to launch WNBA Moments on the Top Shots platform. According to Crypto Slam Records, NBA Top Shots have been the most successful non-fungible token project, with the unique cryptocurrency tokens holding highlight reel video clips, essentially digital trading cards called Moments, selling more than 9 million times. So, it seems only natural for the WNBA to look for similar success. Some of the first WNBA Top Shots moments will feature 2020 WNBA MVP A'ja Wilson and Hall of Famer Lisa Leslie. The deal, in association with the WNBA Players Association, comes during the league's 25th anniversary. Both the NBA Top Shots and WNBA Top Shots live on Dapper Labs' Flow blockchain. If you've been watching the crypto startup industry closely in the last year, you may have noticed a striking theme among many of them. A large chunk of them are launchpads, designed to launch other projects. There are considerable differences in the quality of launchpads and the projects that they host. This is mostly evidenced by the average return offered by some launchpads compared to others. This can be measured in both average all-time high ROI, the maximum value tokens reached, and average current ROI, the current return compared to the IDO price. Though you may be pulled in by expectations of staggering returns, and this is certainly sometimes possible, not all projects will achieve an impressive ROI. Because of this, it is important to approach IDO launchpads with reasonable expectations and a keen eye for fundamentals. This is because some projects may immediately launch with massive demand and generate strong growth right out of the gate, while others might be slow burners that are best held long term. Note that there are often vesting requirements associated with IDOs. That is, a large chunk of the tokens purchased may not be unlocked at the token generation event. Instead, these could be distributed under a vesting schedule, e.g. 20% unlocked after every 3 months, potentially with a cliff too. For example, a delayed distribution after a token generation event. In our article on Alexandria, we go over many more details and specifics about Launchpads, so you'll be well informed. Note, this segment is merely educational and not intended to be financial advice. And for our final story, we take a closer look at Yield Guild Games. Yield Guild Games, or YGG, is a decentralized autonomous organization, or DAO, that promotes blockchain-based games by providing a platform for users to invest NFTs in virtual worlds. For example, within YGG, you can use NFTs from Axie Infinity, which we covered in yesterday's show, to build your own virtual, profitable universe. YGG is based on the concept of creating sustainable virtual economies and empowering its members to thrive in virtual environments. The team behind YGG believes that virtual economies will become relevant and even more useful than real-world economies. But how does YGG work? To explain, we'll have to go back to the digital metaverse, which our Facebook story referenced earlier. The main source of income for the DAO platform in YGG comes from the ownership of YGG-owned NFT assets. Guild members use these assets, either their own or rented, as a trading currency to achieve in-game rewards. So, in-game assets, such as virtual lands, generate revenue through non-guild members who rent said land for their economic activities. Users will receive YGG tokens by renting YGG-owned NFT assets and participating in active guilds, and it's important to note that these NFTs can come from other games. Axies taken from YGG, for example, may be used to cultivate Smooth Love Potion, SLP, in Axie Infinity. SLP earned during these games would be returned to the DAO, with the player receiving a predetermined share of YGG tokens for playing within the structure of the DAO. Much like our previous story, we go much more in depth in our Alexandria article. If you have any interest in YGG and how the system works, we strongly encourage you to take a look. And that's the end of the video. Time for the pop quiz I mentioned earlier. If you've managed to reach the end, congratulations, you've gotten a 100. Feel free to post that in the comments below so everyone knows how special you are. As always, if you've learned anything today, go ahead and give this video a like. If you want more daily crypto news, be sure to subscribe to the channel. If you have any questions about any of our news stories or just want to know more about crypto in general, we strongly encourage you to ask Alex in the description below. I've been your host, Andrew, and we'll see you tomorrow. Have a good one.